My name's Nate Anderson. I'm a research forester with the U.S. Forest Service, and I'm in the research and development branch of the U.S. Forest Service. We have been involved with air burners for over a decade now in cooperative research to look at air burners and air curtain burners in general as an alternative to pile burning slash. Slash is the woody biomass that's left over from forest management. So that could be a timber sale and timber harvest. It's also fuel treatment to reduce wildfire risk. And we also have a lot of biomass left over after forest restoration, and sometimes even things like rangeland or sagebrush restoration. Air burners is an alternative to open burning piles of that biomass. The logistics can be very hard to grind this material or chip it, put it in a truck and haul it very long distances to a facility that can use it. We do that, but only under certain circumstances. So in the case of air curtain burners, we can use it in different types of equipment that might be mobile in a more forward operating environment and get some of the benefits associated with these units on those sites that might be too distant. The other thing is sometimes that grinding and chipping and hauling process can be very costly. So depending on the conditions, we might find some savings associated with doing something besides the logistics associated with what we call biomass utilization. When we talk about wildfire risk, a lot of that has to do with too much biomass on the landscape. What I think a lot of people don't understand is some places where the forest is in that condition is very close to what we call the wildland-urban interface. So that's places where people have houses, there might be a lot of recreation activity, a lot of use of the forest. When we're in those kinds of environments, these alternatives to pile burning provide a few really important benefits. One is less smoke, so they reduce smoke and emissions from those land management activities. It tends to be a smaller footprint than some of our other activities, so we can do it closer. And when we pair that with smaller, potentially electric heavy equipment, it really begins to create a system that we can use in that wildland-urban interface to reduce fuels that might not be as the same type of operation we would deploy in the deep forest for a timber sale, for example. So this is a really important alternative to that activity. In the forest sector, we still see that the air curtain burners, the biocharger, the char boss as relatively new technologies in the sector. What I would like to see is these types of technologies becoming more and more common in terms of the portfolio of equipment that we use in the forest sector. So it may not be appropriate for every single site or every single job, but it's something that we see as widely deployed in areas where it's appropriate and where we see a lot of benefit. I think the biggest lesson we've learned in the research and development branch of the Forest Service is the value of public-private partnership when it comes to research and when it comes to operationalizing research. We have a lot of talented scientists and engineers, but without that collaboration with industry, with people who can bring this to market and can bring it to customers, and we can have industry really focus on their expertise and the engineering and bringing this stuff to market. And I think that public-private partnership is a very powerful tool when it comes to innovation. This is a good example of that.